Hello and welcome to the 16 Days of Strumming. So if you don't know me, my name is Katie. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new here, we're going to be going over some strumming tips first because this is the very first video of this 16-day strumming series, because I find that so many of my subscribers, my students, they get into a couple of chords, they're like, yeah, this is really great. And then once they get into strumming, sometimes they find that they struggle. So this series is designed to help you from the very beginning work on your rhythm, what is rhythm, and basic subdivision, going into basic strumming patterns with practice tracks, and then moving on to more complicated strumming patterns in different time signatures. This is the first video in the series, so let's get into some basic strumming tips and some reminders. First of all, the position of my ukulele neck is right here at a 45-degree angle. This is going to help you with the position of your strumming hand, but just make sure that your ukulele neck is up here at a 45-degree angle rather than here. Now, the position of your fingers as you're strumming, try to strum more so here toward the base of the neck, where the base of the ukulele right here and the neck meet right here. You could strum over the hole, that's totally fine, but I find it easier that if you strum here, that the tension is less. The greatest points of tension on the strings are going to be here closest to the nut, and then here closest to the bridge and saddle. Right here is a nice point to be able to strum right around here, because if you're right here, it just may feel a little stiff. Some of my students find that their fingers get caught in the strings, so here it's just a little softer. You'll feel a lot less tension when you're strumming. And then also on that note, when people feel like their fingers are getting caught in the strings, it's quite possible that you are using too much force, too much pressure when you're strumming. And so if you are really strumming really hard, try to ease up. Think nice, gentle. You don't need a lot of force in order to create a beautiful, clear tone. Think gentle. So just ease up on the gas pedal a little bit, so to speak. Now, some people ask me, hey, if I only strum with my thumb, is that okay? And I say that if it's working for you, it's working for you. The ukulele police are not going to come and get you. You're under arrest. But what I've found, and also talking with other teachers, is that sometimes when students, when they're only using their thumbs, they find themselves kind of stuck when they want to strum more complicated strumming patterns or when they want to chuck. So I suggest that if you are solely using your thumb and it's working for you, that's totally fine, but perhaps try something new, break yourself out of your comfort zone and try strumming down with your pointer finger right here, with the nail of your pointer finger. And then when you strum up, you're going to be using a combination of your pointer finger and the pad of your pointer finger or index finger. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Or my personal preference, I like down with my pointer finger and then up with my thumbnail. So I'm using pointer finger down, thumb up, or index finger down, thumb up. Sometimes I even use these two fingers right here. So we have down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. It may take a little while to kind of get that coordination, but if you're looking to kind of break out of your shell, try that. Another tip is to try to use a flick of your wrist when you're strumming. And so it's more so like this rather than using your entire arm to strum. You're going to end up working too hard. So here's something that can help you. So I want you to take your hand, put it out in front of you like this, and then I want you to give me a, it was okay. So how was your day? It was okay. You see how my wrist is moving back and forth like that? Now I want you to take your pointer finger, point it down, and then do that same motion. Bring your hand toward your ukulele, and then try strumming. Like, how was your day? Oh, it was okay. Because that is going to allow you to have so much more dexterity when you're strumming rather than using your entire arm. When you're strumming between chords, focus on moving one finger at a time, and then don't be afraid of the open spaces. I've spoken about this before with chord transitions, and I called it a corn transition by accident. I'm going to leave that video in the cards above and the description box below. But as you're practicing your strumming pattern, keep that strumming hand going. I almost called it my right hand because I know some people are strumming with their left for my lefties. But if you want to keep your right hand going, your strumming hand going as much as you possibly can, even if your left hand is a little late to the party. So if I have... hear that, how it's just a little bit late, but I kept my strumming hand going. That is very, very key. So it's okay if your left hand, your chord hand is a little late, but keep that right hand going, that strumming hand. That is going to be the most important thing when you're working on your strumming patterns. I can't emphasize counting out loud enough. So sometimes people they go into the strumming pattern and then they get frustrated in between their chord transitions, and then they're like, well, I give up, and then they try again. Well, try counting yourself off, okay? Think 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So if you count yourself off, you're giving your brain or just your muscle memory and anchor something to hold on to. Before you jump into the strumming pattern, you're prepping yourself for that beat and to keep the beat as you're strumming. And on that note, I'm going to segue into using a metronome. I have a video on how to use a metronome, and I'm going to put that in the cards above and the description box below. But it's really important that you have something that is external that will help you develop that internal beat. So if you have that metronome, that 1, 2, 3, 4, keeping you accountable to the beat, it's going to be so much easier to develop smooth chords and transitions and strumming patterns, keeping that beat. Now here's another tip if you're working on a new strumming pattern. Don't use any chords at all, or maybe just one chord instead of adding all of your chord transitions. That might frustrate you. Focus on one thing at a time. So maybe just lightly touch your strings to stop them from vibrating, to mute them, and then work on that more complicated strumming pattern before you even add another chord. So it could be... And once I get a hang of that, then maybe add another chord in there. But if you're working on something that's just a little new, focus on one thing at a time. There's nothing wrong with that. Who said you had to do everything all at once? No one. Okay? You do what's best for you. I find that if I focus on one thing at a time, one new thing at a time, I have so much more success with that new skill, and then adding something else on top of it, so much easier. Last but certainly not least, use a shaker. So this one is from Ohana, and I absolutely love it. I know other companies have these cute little finger shakers here, but it's a little elastic band right here. You can also use an egg shaker. I have a video on how to use an egg shaker to help you with your strumming patterns, and I'm also put that in the cards above and the description box below. But what the shaker does is that it really literally helps you feel the beat, especially with syncopated strumming patterns. So you'd be surprised how much this little teeny tiny thing makes a huge difference. And don't forget to check out the next video, which will be published tomorrow, all about rhythm. It's Rhythm 101, the foundations of strumming. So please check that video out, or if you are just joining me, make sure you check out the entire series. I'm really excited that you are here. Thank you so much for joining me today, and let me know if you have any questions. Leave that in the comment section below, or if you have any strumming tips that have helped you in the past. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. When it comes to strumming, I find that... Hello, baby! How's my beautiful girl? How are you?